Okay, so for today, I'm gonna teach you chapter 1, lesson 3, and the title is One Type of Integral of a Function. So you can open your book, page 14. Okay, page 14. All right, so on the previous two lessons, I have taught you about derivative. So the definition of derivative is basically instantaneous rate of change. Yeah, and the way we try to estimate the value of it is by finding the average rate of change. Yeah. So for lesson 3 and lesson 4, for these next two lessons, it's about the definition of integral. Okay. So as if you are aware in your book, the chapter title is limits, derivatives, integrals, and integrals. Why are there two integrals there? Because actually there are two types of integral. The first one is called indefinite integral. And the second one is called definite integral. Yeah. So the one that we are talking about in these next two lessons is actually the second one, which is the definite integral. We are not going to cover indefinite integral yet, but we're going to cover the definite integral. So basically, before I go to it, I want to review a little bit about physics. So let's say that I have a graph of velocity and time, and then an object is moving with a constant rate, with a constant velocity. Let's say it's 60 meters per second. Okay. And then let's say that you want to find the distance that has been through from the beginning of the object moving until 10 seconds. So in physics, you have learned that how to find the distance is actually you can find the area below the graph of the velocity. So that is actually the distance that has been through by the object with a constant rate of 60 meters per second for 10 seconds. So the area, which is equal to the distance, I'm sorry, the area is supposed to be on the left. The distance, which is equal to the area, in this case, is actually equal to 60 meters per second times 10 seconds, which is 600 meters. Okay, so you have learned this one before. Now the problem is, what if the object is not moving at a constant rate? So let's say the object is moving, for example, exponentially, like that. Okay. Now, how do we find the distance that has been through from the starting point to the ending point? Let's say this is t equals a to t equals b, and let's say this is f of t. So the velocity is a function of time, which is an exponential. So the principle is still the same. The principle is still the same. The way how to find the distance that have been through is to find the area below the graph of the velocity. But now we have a problem that the velocity is not in a constant rate. It's an exponential function. So that's where definite integral come. Okay, so the definition of definite integral. So the definition of definite integral is actually simply the area below the graph. Okay. So the definition of definite integral is area below the graph. So if you want to find out the area below the graph, the shaded area in this case, then actually you just need to find the definite integral, which is by definition is the area below the graph itself. Okay. So as I said in this chapter, we are not going to learn about how to find the exact value of definite integral, but in this chapter we are going to learn how to estimate the area below the graph. And the most conventional method, the most easiest method how to do it is by counting the square. Which is basically the objective of our lesson today. If you see on page 15, the objective of this lesson is given the equation of a graph for a function, estimate on a graph the definite integral, which is the area below the graph, of a function between x equals a to x equals b by counting squares. So basically, you just need to do it manually. I'll give you example 2 on your book, page 16. So basically, the figure 1.3c shows the graph of the velocity function Vt equals negative 100t squared plus 90t plus 14, where t is in seconds and Vt is in feet per second. Estimate the definite integral, which is the area below the graph, of Vt with respect to t from t equals 0.1 to t equals 1. Yeah, so basically, if you see the figure 1.3c, you need to estimate the area of the green shaded region from 0.1 to 1 following the graph of Vt, which is a quadratic function, a parabola. Yeah, like I said, the most conventional way is to count the square. So actually the book has counted for you. On the green shaded region, there should be about 119.2 squares. 119.2 squares. Yeah, 119.2 squares. And then after you calculate the square, after you count the square, you need to find what is the area of one square. How? By seeing the unit in x-axis and y-axis. Yeah. For example, 1 unit of x-axis is actually 0.1 seconds, right? So this is actually 0.1 second. And 1 square, 1 unit in y direction is actually 2 feet per second. So the area of the small box, the area of a square here is actually representing 0.1 times 2, which is 0.2 feet. So you have 119.2 squares and 1 square represents 0.2 feet. So what's the total area? Is approximately, again, remember, it's not an approximately 119.2 times 0.2, which is equal to about 23.8 feet. So that's how you do it by counting the square. Okay. So basically, one more time, the definition of definite integral is area below the graph. And if you want a mathematical definition, you can find in the gray box on your books, page 16. Meaning of definite integral is the definite integral function f from x equals a to x equals b gives a way to find the product. Remember, if we are talking about area, it's actually a product of two-dimensional dimension, right? Two-dimensional unit, right? So the product of b minus a as the width and fx as the height. even if the height, the fx, is not a constant, like in this example. The fx, the height, is not a constant, right? So the way you can do it, the way you can find the area below the graph is to find the definite area, which is the product of the width and the height. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.